Okay. Yes, it was quite interesting that we are not alone, although we know that, but we were looking for some proof that we were not the only people who has a support. One thing that was mentioned was about how to deal with people that display particular saboteur behaviors. I did not see anything in the assessment. The assessment is about the saboteurs you have, but also it gives you an idea of how you can use these characteristics, these descriptions, and see the saboteurs with other people. And while you are creating your strategies, you will be able to deal with the saboteurs of those people as well, rather than fighting with them, struggling with them. This is the initial, let's say, response I receive from my clients. I have a boss who is controller. He wants to be hands-on, and we generally implement the strategies I suggest them with the saboteurs they also have. We all have these saboteurs. Only very few people have none. There is no people without any saboteurs, but there are people without one of these saboteurs, like zero. Some people they never fall into victim, that's fine. But in any case, we have a part of these saboteurs and we are resonating with those people so easily. And the things that we might be implementing for ourselves, or it will be easier for us to look from their perspective, from their window, as a person who has similar saboteurs. It was very useful as everyone seems to recognize their saboteurs. That's nice, that's cool. It was helpful. Okay, so let's continue. So we have talked about the first muscle we have to develop, to label. At that moment, we don't have to do anything. As I said, we just need to label them. And the second muscle we have to develop is our sage power, the muscle that we are using our wisdom, what we have learned from our lives. And sage power, what does it mean, or what is that? It is associated in our brain, and it is associated with positive emotions that we have just described, having empathy, being creative, being curious. What other positive emotions you can say? Just type into the chat box. And sage part has a peace and calm in your mind, and you are more focused on what you are doing, and you are more aligned with your values, with your passion, with your aspirations. And it means that whatever that comes in front of you, as long as you are aligned with your path to what you would like to be or what you would like to have, those negative things doesn't bother you. They don't take you from the path. You might have a very curvy way to what you would like to achieve, but in any case, you have a trend that is already taking you from where you are to where you want to be. And creativity, being in a curious mindset, and what you can do differently, and maybe in a shorter way, in a much joyful way, and much effective way, higher performance can be created. And as you can see, although you are focused, you are not going into the trap of too much details. You are not lost in the forest. You are able to see the forest as well as the trees in the forest. And the sage mind operates from the sage perspective. What is that perspective? When you say perspective is a window that opens to the world. And wherever your window is, that's the world you see. If your window is looking to a garden, oh, my house is just in the middle of a garden. Or if your window is opening to a wall, oh, I'm just like in jail. My house is the place where I'm living and staying is just jail. So the sage perspective has a window on its own. And what does it say? Every outcome or circumstance can be turned into a gift and an opportunity. Every outcome and circumstances can be turned into a gift or an opportunity. As we say that this requires creativity. This enables being focused. This helps you to be more directed to your longer term goals, your aspirations, what you're expecting from life. It's not about butterflies and flower, thinking about always the positive things. And when you come across with a very wild event, oh, this is just not important. There can be a gift in it. But it is about seeing something good in it. And the mindset says that there is at least 10% right in any sentence. It's about when you are working with a colleague and you are working on a project, and that colleague, that judge, says that he always creates the dumbest suggestions in the project, and we don't get into a compromise with him, and we never end up with a success. Or there is just little piece, not the whole, but 10% correctness in his mind. And we can build on that, putting our creativity in that perspective. This is an exercise you can do in your teamworks, in your environment. And it also has some kind of compassion to the person that is in front of you, rather than just labeling that person wrong, 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 bad, bad, bad. Just having a compassion. Oh, for example, I want to lose weight. Oh, that's a great idea. Why don't you wake up every day in the morning at 5 a.m. and walk 10 kilometers and come back and then dress up and show up in your office? And the sage perspective says, I like your idea. I like having a periodic walk so that it will help me to be more fit in my life, and that will help me losing some weight. And I will do it 3 days a week. And I will do it sometimes in my, I can do it sometimes in my, how you say it, the running machine at home, or I can go out and I can maybe walk by the river. I don't have to do it outside. Sometimes it's snowy. See, in sage perspective, you just catch one part of the event, the suggestion that is made, and you build on it. Otherwise, you will be stuck. How can you do it at 5 a.m. every day in the morning and do the sports and then dress up and show up? I cannot be a superhuman to do this. And you will end up continuing the same lifestyle you already have. Nothing changes. So that's the sage perspective. This is just a simple explanation, but there are much more extreme times that you can have a gift or an opportunity. Like, apparently Zoom has utilized this opportunity in this COVID time. Although as a coach, I was already using Zoom for 4 or 5 years with my clients. There were some consultants using Zoom because they are working with clients from different parts of the world. So WhatsApp or Messenger calls were not practical. Skype was not serving in that sense. But after the COVID, I don't know what the value of the market share of Zoom company, but it is apparently the top performing one. So COVID has become an opportunity for a company like Zoom. Any other suggestions? For example, my daughter wanted to study university in UK. Oh, it's a really something that I need to consider, or as a family we have to consider, because there are some financial consequences. We were living in a different part of the world, and to support her financially and psychologically, it would not be possible. But she wanted, I don't want to study here in this country or another country, but I want to study in UK. And I thought that, let's consider how can it be possible. Okay, you can just pay the fees and send her to a dormitory. That was an alternative. I said, why don't I move to UK and extend my coaching business? So I was living in Azerbaijan, and I was working the biggest holding company of the country. And I was coaching the chief officers of its banks, investment banks. And in order for me to grow further, I should be moving to another environment, because I'm not a tree. I should not be staying there. I should be making use of another environment. So here, the challenge that my daughter posed me in front of us as a family has become an opportunity for me to consider what I can do differently for my business. This is a suggestion. And I shifted to the UK. And in a few months' time, I established my company. I started networking. I started creating my business environment. And the COVID came, that I was not able to personally meet people. And the opportunity came as well. Now I was able to join networking events, not only in London, but also in Bath, but also in Scotland, but also in Dubai, elsewhere. So it has become a gift for me that I'm able to do things online. And also, I had given permission to myself. Canan, you don't need to hurry up. This is not a normal circumstances, and no one is just in a competition, and you can slow down. Then I concentrated on my business much more. So I had worked with a coach for developing my coaching business. And I had time to spend, to focus more on what I can do better, differently. What brought me here won't get me there. I should be implementing different strategies, different methodologies, different approaches. So this was an opportunity for me to focus on much fundamental things rather than jumping into everywhere else. And the restless saboteur might be disturbing me. Canan, you should be there, and also there. And it disturbed me. I have subscribed so many trainings, webinars, and I came to realize I need to slow down. I need to be in line with what I need to do, and the rest will not be helping me. So that's the sage perspective I just tried to explain. And let me tell you about Stallion story. The story has been famous, has become famous, being publicized by Alan Watts, the English writer, philosophy. It's about a old Chinese farmer who had a beautiful stallion. That stallion got into the competition of the best horse of the country, and it won the prize. Oh, all the neighbors came to celebrate. Oh, how lucky you are! Your horse has won the prize, and now you are the most important person in our village. They said, maybe not. There is only one fact: my horse has just won the prize. And everyone heard about, other villages and towns has heard about this award-winning stallion. And the next week, stallion was stolen. The beautiful horse was taken away from the farmer. And the next day, the neighbors, oh, what happened? What happened? So your stallion has been stolen. So what are you going to do? We don't know yet. We just have one fact. My stallion is gone. That's it. And interestingly, in a few days' time, the stallion has run away from the burglars and has made some friends and took those wild horses to the farm, back to the farmer. And those beautiful horses has become part of the family. And the neighbors came, oh, how lucky you are. You had only one stallion, now you have many horses, so they are so beautiful, so you can go get into the competitions with these as well. I said, calm down. Maybe, maybe not. And the neighbors, oh, there might be something in it, but let's see. And the next day, his son started training those wild horses. And while he was doing the training, they just dropped him out of their bag. And the son has broken his leg. And they came to the condolence. Oh, what a pity, your only one son, and he has broken his leg. What are you going to do with this, all this farm work and your stuff? He said, maybe it's good, maybe not. Let's see. And the next week, the country was in war, and the emperor's officers came to the village to collect the healthy men in the village, except the farmer's son, because he has a broken leg and he would not be useful in the war. Then the neighbors came again. So you are so lucky. Your son is with you. Our husbands, our son has all went to the war. And guess what he said? Maybe good, maybe not. Let's see. So as you can see from the story, yes, he is a wise person. But there's something missing here. There's the perspective of Sage we have with this farmer, but he's just passive. He's not taking action. He's just waiting what to come and wait for what to receive. And let's continue. How is it going? Yes, it's a beautiful and inspiring story. Christina, yes, you have missed so much, but we have a lot too. So you will enjoy the rest of the conversation right now. Here is the question. Which perspective is true? That Sabotage says this is bad, or Sage says this is a gift, an opportunity? Which one is true? Can I have some estimations or guesses in the chat box? No? Anyone? Any idea? Just type there. Depends on the gift. Both can be true. Yes. What else? We don't know the gift. Yeah. Both can be true. Whichever you believe becomes true. It is you who defines which one is correct. This is bad, and I can turn it to a gift. Yes, that's right. That's perfect. Whatever you believe becomes true. You make it true. Your mind works for it to be true. Either it's a bad or it's a gift. And the third and the important muscle that connects you from shifting from saboteur-interceptor, saboteur to sage mind, the self-command muscle, taking the command of your plane, taking from autopilot to your personal command. How can you do it? There's a very simple practice I'll be just showing in a few seconds time. These are called as PQ reps, positive intelligence coefficient. PQ is positive intelligence coefficient. And the repetitions, as we do it in a gym session, when we intend to have six packs and have a fit body, we don't spend hundreds of hours just in one touch. We go there periodically, 3 times a day, 5 times a day. We just spend 1 hour, 2 hours, half an hour, whatever. Or we walk every day, but for 5 kilometers, not so much. So we have repetitions to make that muscle strong. You will not be a world fitness champion by just working on every day. Just small and simple steps. As we called it, divide to multiply. In order to multiply our results, our performance, we have to divide it. So I think everyone is off their videos, cameras. That's fine. You can continue with it. And I will keep my camera on and just show you a kind of a positive intelligence repetition to take you from saboteur mindset to sage mindset. Here, we will be using one or more of the 5 senses. The sense of touch, the sense of hearing, the sense of smelling, the sense of seeing. What is left? Seeing, hearing, and smelling, yes, and tasting. One of these. But here, right now, we will not be tasting anything. If you have a tea, you can do it as well. Close your eyes. Close your eyes, please. And now take a deep breath. And exhale the breath. And try to feel the warmth of the breath that is going into your nostrils. And while you are exhaling, feel the warmth of the breath that is coming out of your nostrils. And now, touch your fingertips to each other. Touch them so that you can feel the ridges on your fingers. And now touch all the fingers of one hand to the palm of your other hand. Feel how your fingers are moving in your palm. Feel whether it is sweaty or dry. Is it warm or cool? And put your feet are on the floor. Try to feel each of your toes. Try to count how many toes you have, just wiggling your toes in your socks or in your shoes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10. And now try to hear the farthest noise you can hear. Maybe it's raining outside, or the next door's baby crying, newborn baby, or someone in the kitchen cooking for the dinner. And now try to hear the closest sound you can hear. Maybe you have the earphones in your ear, it's just moving. Or you're hearing the breath that is going in through your nostrils. And now open your eyes and look at the camera. Look at what you see. I'm speaking. What I have at the back. What you see on the wall. What color is the night light? what is written on the candlelight next to me. Try to see. Try to notice my ears. Try to notice my hair color. And now we are back. So this was just a few seconds of demonstrating how a PQ wrap can be done. And just notice how you were feeling just before we were starting this PQ wrap, and how you are feeling right now. What was in your mind before starting? Do you remember? What do you have now in your mind? Yeah, calmer. Are you still thinking of what you used to bother about? The guy who said that rude thing to you, and you were just planning what to say next day? No? Do you remember? So this is how positive intelligence repetitions shifts your mind. This is like when you see a small kid and she's upset, she's just crying out because things didn't go well as she expected to be. What do you do with her? Do you try to convince her? Or take her attention to something else? Oh, look at, there's a bird on our window. And she just at first doesn't want to look. And when she's, oh yes, this is a bird. What is this? What's its name? And shifts her mind from that crying mode to a neutral mode. Then now you can speak to her, explain, or if you feel like explaining, or you can have a normal talk with that person. This is what we do with a PQ wrap on ourselves. When we are under stress, under challenging times, you're not able to speak normally, comfortably, or we are not able to look from a positive perspective with a creative and curious and empathic mindset. So this is the exercise you can do as a positive intelligence repetition. As I said, this can be done with anything else. When you're going to shopping, just walking on the street, just looking different greens that you see on the street, different trees, leaves, let's say. Nowadays, we are not having greens, but we are having different pink or yellow leaves that are falling on the streets, trying to notice them. This is a shift from your negative mindset to a positive mindset that you can operate much more successfully. I hope you enjoyed the exercise, and let's go back to our presentation. So as long as you do those repetitions, you are getting much stronger and becoming much fitter. That's the simplicity of the operating system that is implemented in positive intelligence. But it says that if you are feeling negative emotions, stop. Do nothing because you are in saboteur mode. What you are going to do will not serve you for your performance, for your well-being, and for your relationships, and eventually your happiness, let's say. And do some PQ reps like we did a few minutes ago. Quiet your saboteurs. Those are not you. Those are the saboteurs that are capturing you. And activate your sage power. Move from saboteur to sage with these PQ reps, and take the window of the sage perspective that is able to see the garden, the green, the open air, and assume that anything can be converted into a gift, an opportunity. Even though there are extreme cases, there can be a gift, or you turn into a gift, an opportunity if you are in the sage mode. And one thing to be cautious about, only one negative emotion that is not called a saboteur is grief. You are feeling in grief, but there is the positive emotion in it that is honoring that the loss you are having, honoring that person, honoring that relationship, honoring those nice and good moments you had with that loss. So beware of that. Grief is not a saboteur, but any other emotion can be called as a saboteur. And generate the gift by using the sage powers like empathy, like curiosity, and finding a new solution, having Indiana Jones mindset. What can be here? To be open to seeing anything can be possible, and having a calmer and clear-headed action. This is what we call this operating model. And the question, is it possible to shift from a saboteur to sage response, even in tough, challenging times? Is it possible? I'm sure there are people who has shifted to sage mind or sage response because we have in our lives, we are more or less 30s, 40s, 50s, whatever. We have gone through different challenges. It's not only the COVID, that's the only challenge we had in our lives, right? Sometimes personally, sometimes as a community. It depends, right? On what? It depends on your muscle strength. So when you ask a person, can you run 10 kilometers in 50 minutes time? That person will respond it according to her or his fitness level. Yes or no? So as we have just demonstrated this positive intelligence repetitions, and there are people within who has experienced it previously, and I have been doing this almost 4 or 5 months, I can say. I have more strong muscles to shift from negative mindset to positive mindset or sage response. It depends on your strength. So would it be lasting? So I generally give an example of, there are quite a lot of events that hundreds of people, thousands of people are gathering, and there are really worldwide known coaches who are just giving you all the initiative that you can do anything, you are so strong, you can manage anything else. And leaving that meeting, you just have a positive thinking about, I can do anything, I can beat, I can do that. The next day, it just lasts a few minutes more, a few days more. Next day, maybe some more. Next month, probably you will not be having any part of that positive mindset unless you practice. So 20% is depending on the insights that you are getting from these practices, but 80% is depending on your mental muscles. That means like 50 minutes of repetitions every day for at least 8 to 6 weeks. This is just an observation from the research that the initial intensive practice will provide you a major shift at the beginning so that you can build on it with a cumulative stronger muscle. This is how we go. By the way, I would like you to give you an opportunity to have more about these insights I have just shared. It just ended very quickly, sorry. I would like to give you more information about these positive intelligence. I would like to invite other events, or if you feel like I would like to share as much as I can, but if you feel like being part of a community, being part of this positive intelligence network, I would be happy to provide further. So we just created a registration on Menti.com website. So if you can log in Menti.com and putting in the code here, that's shown 4412821, you can share your information details with me. other than you have registered through Eventbrite or other events. And we will be happy to get you on board on our network of positive intelligence. And before going on, oh, we are so, time is going fast. So I have a gift for you. I don't know whether you have taken the assessment from the website that I'm showing here, the cpmconsultants.co.uk, under services section. Below there's the assessment link. You can take this assessment and you receive that results to your own email. It is not something that is shared with any other person, neither me as well. And just drop me a call and let's have a complimentary session with you to work on what kind of a strategic plan you can implement for your mental fitness. So I hope you will enjoy this gift and give a chance to work on yourself. And lastly, being a minimalist and trying to be a minimalist person, I concentrate on having experiences rather than things. So here I'll be giving some information about a coaching workshop